CAD. It's getting crushed. It's a big buy. Somebody asked about this crush down in the dollar CAD, and from the standpoint of the scalp that you didn't need to be there for, I think we've achieved that high probability scalp window. I think we perfectly achieved that. So I get a 25 pip grid, and you can see the trade, I think, hopefully. Going back here in this 25 pip window, so you could have bought a standard lot here with a 25 pip stop and made, you could risk $250 to make $250 on one single ticket. Right at the 25-yard line, but what if they missed your entry by 2 pips? Okay, get a 50K and a 50K and trade two 50Ks in that hole. So this is the hole. If there's a hole, something's going in it. We actually was able to achieve a stop hunt, so-called, to here. This is the liquidity hole. We don't need the 15-minute chart here. You see the trap, the bulls, the breakout, the people that consider this a breakout, and this is the no-nonsense confirmation. It's up. Don't forget the trend's up too. I think I can see how he's getting crushed, why people are getting crushed on the Discord, thinking that, well, my baseline is here, I should be selling. They sell here. That worked out good. And they made it, you know, if you sold this price pulse against the baseline, but what do you do about all this nonsense? Right, so I'm calling this the bottom that becomes wick tops. Then they able to crush through the 25 pip window, come back, come after the bulls that are already heavily long here. But the problem is when you have a day of nothing, it's time for the breakout or the stop hunters of the bulls or the bears. They would stop hunt the bulls and stop hunt the bears, right? Because if you're short here, don't forget you're getting a signal here to go, right? The true range is the 8 tears down. Another thing I thought of was the well, I got about 30 pairs here on the screen, and if you zoom in and you only see 5 bars on your screen, that's an ATR of 5. And if you put this 25 pip grid on here, it's kind of telling you what scripts are available to use in a up-down swing mode, non-directional, like sell up here at the top, right? Sell up here and buy down here, and just play this game all month long in dollar CAD. So what's the trade now? Pretty obvious. It's time to break out the so the guy asked about holding a trade over the weekend. So yeah, if you get in here, hopefully you scalped at least 25 pips off that wick. If you're going to hold this over the weekend, yeah, in the long run, we might be up here again, at least to the floor that we took out here, at least to this floor on the daily, and another 25 pips may be coming into Monday. But are you going to dump and make your 50? Now that would be an amazing trade, right? A 250 pip stop with a you make $500 clean. So you can see all these different schemes. You could have been holding. You could have built a hedge here in a 25 pip window, and finally it just starts breaking down, and you're up for no apparent reason other than you put on a symmetrical hedge in here, and they didn't take out your sell stops, your buybacks for your sells, because those would still be lingering there. Once those fill, those are hard written, and if you have ratios that are risk 25 to make 100, right? So you made 100 pips, accumulating in a 50 pip range, or distributing. You could have been selling, or buying. Even if you're buying, if you have conservative stops, 25, 50 pips, you're out of that trade. But if your account goes flat, you're in nothing. You're not here to see this trade, don't forget. You can trade two strategies. Like maybe you think it is going up. Maybe you think it's going down. The best answer to make the most amount of money is, what did the market just do? When you see these dual dojis here, yeah, you're going to put on this, you're only trying to make 25 or 20 or 25 or 50 pips here, all this nonsense. You got to take your trade plan down. I can run 25 pip stops in here. I can buy these wicks. Look at this wonderful little backfill into this void and then up, and then don't forget you got a triangle void forming here. What's the chances that'll fill? And look how steep this one is. So this is also when the sell at the market tickets, if you have some, you're going to sell because this is a blistering up move. It's already coming into the top of the month. It's already trapping in this window. There's so much fuel for this move down because of what it picked up here. And again, there's more. So this is a big buying opportunity from a pending standpoint in a 25 pip window, and from buying all the way down maybe. Maybe you're underwater on this ticket. This one, you bought a 3K, you bought a 4K, you bought a 5K, you bought a 6K. Maybe you scalped the 6K out and you're holding over the weekend. It also depends how much money you have. When people say, is it okay to hold a trade over the weekend? It's like, well, you have your life savings in this trade. Right, that's going to qualify the importance. Like when you're driving down the road and you run over a small kid. I mean, it's a late-term abortion. So it's like, how do you really gauge how it hurts you feeling about the trade? So the way it looks to me that the trap there is that you're not going to give much credence to what you're saying. In essence is, I got to be right about this trade. Like, should I hold it over the weekend? If you're in one ticket and you got your life savings in there, I'd say not, because it could gap against you. But also, could you put in, this is another one to consider, do you have pendings that are sitting here so when the market does open, they're going to fill you down in Disneyland and no man's land? You're going to buy here all month long. You could set grids in there. The expiration is 1 month. 1 month. Because so we smash up here right around the end of the month. Now we come back here. I'm sure there's people that are just made 20, a couple standard lots is $500 there. The scalper's window. That's the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. Right, buying the 25 pip stop hunt. How did it work out here? You got pending limits stacked up in here because you can hopefully see these two bottom wicks. So you got buy limits here. They pick you up on limits. Not only did you make 25 pips, you made 100 pips on that. If you can hold on till you come in the ultimate seller's window, right? The failure to clear these wick tops and keep going. Wow, did they punish these guys? Now buying at the market here, because it's down, if you have a 100 pip stop on that, did you make money eventually? If you place buy limits in a grid here, now the market's telling you, buy me here, but really buy me here in the 50 pip window. Okay, that is a killer trade. This is a killer trade too, but this is a 25 pip setup. Each setup has a pip. This one I'm buying all next week down here, right? Obviously. And when it gets below here, I'm going to bet the ranch. And when it gets below here, I'm going to bet your ranch, right? I'm going to bet the neighbor's ranch. I'm going to do a fake mortgage on the mansion next door. The guy with the moat. So, and could you sell here? Sure. Now, if you're going to sell more, go to the 4-hour chart and say, okay, if you're going to sell, and see how we came back to the this floor here, and you had to withstand buying here maybe at the market, and you're almost at break even on that. But if you dedicated all your buying to this window here, you could have been out of that that trade in probably, I'm saying, 2 hours. So how do you know if that's true? You got to go and do some forensics and go to the 1 hour chart and see what was the narrative on the 1 hour for that play. Wait for the data to come in here. I think that's updated yet, but okay. So here's how long it would take you. You're tagged at the 25-yard line. You're not there to see it. You are not babysitting this trade. They do not. You could have run a 10 pip stop on this, right? They rip it up. If you cash out here, right? If you cash out here, you made 25 pips, and you had a 13 pip stop. Could you have bet $1 million on that trade? Sure, whatever the dollar risk, that it matters. And of course, could you hold that? I would be holding that something over the weekend, probably, because we all know that there's sellers galore here. We can also add on pullbacks. We can build more of a position. I don't know how big you're in on one ticket, and it really depends money wise, because not everybody has $10,000 to throw at the market per trade. So the trade I did, in the other account, I was able to get flat when we climaxed into the double top on the 1 hour there. So I added, actually went to sleep, woke up, there was up, and then cashed out, so we're up to 15,000 on the account. So I was in, figured estimate about $1.5 million position on the retracement. When I loaded that last video I did, where it was 2 hours of me buying, so I was in considerable amount, 15 standard lots, 1,500 tickets to manage though. So in 70 cents, I think 77 cents profit on average per something like that, or maybe 7 pips. 60% win rate. It did pretty good. So you could do the same trade here. If you could get a nice tight spread on this, or not, just trade with a 50 pip stop here on this. But you really got to load the wagon. If you're going to scalp, you can trade one instrument. You got to be able to scalp it and swing it, and you really want to have a kind of a soft entry and soft exit so you can survive it. Sure, it'd be nice if we could use a Fibonacci tool and find the exact entrance. If that was true, somebody would just have a fib bot that's calibrated to, and it's just getting it at fibs, and it's running that trade, and sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. Where's it going to put its stop? Where's it going to put its take profit? And how long is that fib going to last before the market has enough data to destroy your fib, or you hung your fib handle, right? So once you go down that rabbit hole, you realize that it comes down to, can you afford this trade? Can you afford to hold the trade over the weekend? Does that account matter to you? Are you worried about that account? Then you shouldn't be in the trade. So if you buy a guitar and you're afraid to play it out, so I have some I was afraid to play out, so I just sell them. I didn't want to play this guitar out. It's too nice to play it in some smoky bar. Of course, those are illegal now. But if you're uncomfortable in the trade, then sure. If you find the adventure in holding over the weekend, it's certainly a portion of the trade, yeah. But when the market opens, I think everybody should know by now, when the market opens, there'll be different prices available than were available before. So, you don't want to be the one that got away. Fear of missing out. Make me hold over the weekend, but like I said, that's a fear for a reason. Like fear of getting killed, like fear of the dark when you're a kid. I think, nobody wants to be in total darkness, or total silence. And so those are the situations. That's what you're up against psychologically trading. Do you hold over the weekend? It's just like, do you get married on the weekend? That's the question. Do you run to Vegas and get married in one day? That's higher risk, I think, than trading. So this idea that risk, you don't never see this on some, like, what's that? They have that dating show, The Bride or some shit. You don't see a big disclaimer pop up. You know, there's risk in marriage and all. Where's the risk in the fuck? You think this is risky? Trading money? Oh, boy, I lost money. Dude, you're still alive. You can still complain. Look at this guy married. His wife kills him with nicotine. Antifreeze, for God's sake. Yeah, you'd have to really. This dollar CAD is a weaselly one. Look at this fucking nonsense on this in this currency. So I think the 4-hour chart's going to be a little bit. I mean, I can see what happened here. Just to look back to see how long I would be in this trade. But well, holy shit! Look at this mess. But on the daily, it's obvious. You know, here you can sit back and. That's about all the data I need. In fact, I think it's a little bit too much data right now. Let's zoom in. Take a look at this. You know, to me, I like this picture. I can see this is all that matters. And what I was saying earlier is that if you count these bars, what you're essentially looking at here is the framing of the market. That is the ATR smoothing. This is a 25 ATR in essence. And if I was to stack these up on monitors, so I tiled it out and everything had the same coefficient there, you know, this indexing, the scaling, then you would be able to compare apples to apples and know, oh, I can't run that script over there because look at this fucking thing. Look at the guppy, you know. Look at these currencies, you know. Here, you know, it's obvious. I'm buying here. I'm buying here. That's my signal service. When they start filling these tickets, I'm like, look at that. I see them on the platform. I see it have margin that's being used. So I'll be doing that trade also with this account, this demo. And so I figure maybe what I'll do is, I don't know how to do it, but if I can copy it, there's a mirroring thing there too. I'm going to copy that to one of my real money accounts, and I'm just going to trade the demo. And I'll be doing the same trades on my account. So, or I'll take another demo, see how the mirroring even works. I don't know. I don't trust all that stuff in a way, or that it's going to be like an EA running inside there. I don't know. It's going to slow down my trading. See, that's the nice thing if I'm doing it on the demo, because I don't know if there's going to be a lag, or it'll be like, oh, wait a second. Wait for that trade to clear. Wait for that mirror to go. I don't know, but that's another option. But I don't think trading's that difficult as people make it sound. I think you just need to have a risk parameter that you can handle. A $500 drawdown, you'll probably be able to end up at $10,000 easily in. I give yourself a year. I mean, don't be too pressurized, but obviously, I mean, you could make $5,000 a week if you busted your ass. But you know, you're really going to have to be, you know, say we're this. You might have put in a target for 55 pips, but we're not going there. Like it's time to put on the hedge and walk away, or it's time to. And then somebody asked me about money management. Yeah, that's my only money management at this point, other than dumping the whole position. Which once we get to that window, if I told myself once, I told myself 100,000, get the fuck out here, and usually that has been the best thing in forex is just get the fuck out because, dude, they're gonna smash this thing back 50 pips in the blink of an eye, and you won't even know what the fuck just happened. I was trading a 1K and blew up a $300 account. You know, I mean, the market can, you think, oh, look at this thing. It just went up 500 pips and it comes ripping back. You figure, well, I'm just going to put in some limits like 50 pips apart for 300 pips. Bye-bye. There goes the whole account. Market comes slamming back in 40 seconds, okay? Or, I mean, it's almost tamer than it used to be. I think there's more, the more that people are in it, right, there's more people trading the euro. It's very smooth now. Yeah, the spreads are going to get wide in almost every retail broker, unless you have some gold account that's, you know, just go flat before the end of the day. You could just go out. I'd have so much more money if I would have got up all open and pendings at the end of the day and just said, just start over tomorrow. But that could have also been a problem where the broker would be like, Dude, you're just killing our servers. This is the complaint. You're just killing our servers with your EA. I guess if it's looping, yeah, it's a problem. And I'm surprised that Oanda didn't shut me down before they overloaded my ISP. But yeah, this market, and also the when I traded stocks, I would look for the biggest winners and losers. I'm like, show me something that's getting smashed. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And the drama is unsustainable. This sell-off in the dollar here. Of course, the no-nonsense guys could have been totally whipsawed by the fact that this is up, they buy, and they're like, okay, I had to put a stop in, and they're like, holy shit, look at this fucking thing. How can I, what, is there a way to make money on this move before it moves down? I would say, yeah, this is going to be a kind of a high risk, in my opinion, trade. Sell stops, buy stops, buy stops, sell stops. You're building a hedge here. Maybe you do have a market order hedge that you can execute. That it's a psychological thing in the end. What would you think if I told you when we see a gravestone or a very small body here, you have to put on a market hedge that at least makes 25 pips in one direction with a 12 pip stop, and maybe you made a little bit of money there. Inside of that is also orders that are going to make 50 pips and 100 pips and 75 and every increment. That's the art of it, is to get in the perfect thing that it needs at the moment. You're tailoring and curve fitting every day. Right? You see a gravestone. I got a trade plan for that. I see this fucking hammer. Dude, I'm putting on the biggest hedge on the planet with the tightest stops. Tight stops for the bullish, for the sell side, tight stops for the buy side. When we get stopped out of that leg, we're making this to here, and I got limits here to pick up. So I want to get in on these dead markets here. Dead. Look at the expansion out of this. On the weekly, that's probably a spinning top on the weekly. And the no-nonsense guy's not going to look at the weekly either. He can't. His algos aren't built for weekly. He dialed the sensitivity. Some guy was complaining, well, he's not going to tell us the settings. You can tell that he doesn't. He's trying to always look for the Holy Grail. The weekly is not even. Look, it's in the golf. It's probably a hammer on the monthly. No, see, so look how dead this market is. And look at this thing. Who's making money here? My God, this thing's been ranging for how long now? Look at this volatility just drying up. Even the weekly guys got this nailed. 3 week wicks. 3 wicks in a row. It's just so easy. Come on. Can't see that setup? If you really can't see this hole, some guys said people just don't want to see it. They don't want to see the trap because they believe in the trend. They believe in confirmation entry, but look at this hole. Some guy put an order bank in here for 50 pips and he goes, yeah, whatever. Call me when it's down here hunting these guys. So mission's completed. Right? President Bush, mission completed there. We've totally wiped out. We trapped the bulls and we've trapped the bears for the moment. We could still keep tanking. I'm buying below this wick. I'm buying heavy here. I'm betting the ranch and your ranch. Same thing on the upside. Sellers are here. Sellers are here. This is the biggest, deepest. We ever get up there, it's going to be an insane. It's going to be bloody. Yeah, I'm a buyer all the way down. Honestly, if I'm in a 1K and I buy a 2K, a 3K, a 4K, who's doing that? Is that risky to you? Put a master stop down here. Wait for them to crush it. Wait for the retrace. You're going to get out here. Everything you buy here, you got to get out here if you're going to do a retracement trade. If you're going to do it in golf, you're going to buy here, 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 and then you're looking for it to take this out and go after this. Then you're going to sell here, and then you're going to sell so much here in this window. It's a seller's window. We already know the trade. Why are people watching these markets even? Why are they bothering? I want to see what's going to happen. See if I'm right. Yeah. Some guy, why are you still asking about your old girlfriend? I want to see what the guy she's with. Now on the weekly, look at that seller's window. Nice trade here. Sell all the way above that wick. Look at this breakout here. So sell, put on the hedge. Another one of these measured moves people talk about. That's over. It's all chopped now. It's over. Got buy limits here for a couple dead cat bounces. Buy limits streaming all the way down, coming into the open. How do you like this one? Comes up here, ricochets off the floor, down. The hedge bots are just feasting on that. Boy, does that pay off. 4-hour hedge bots. Yeah, those should be easy to build. Get a doji. Let's pull the trigger. Or you just look at it every 4 hours. Put on a hedge. A non-directional hedge, by the way. The fuck you have to pick the direction for? Here it could have been you thought it was going to break down. So, you see in 12 hours of doji? Dude, get on that train. Doesn't matter which direction. The money management's built into that trade, by the way, because my scalps are built in. Scalping out. When it goes here, I dump. Asia. Dump. So, Asia. Drip down. Crush into the buy limit window. Fill it up. Dump it to the floor. Again, right? So rinse and repeat. All over again. Buy limits, dense pack. Sell limits, dense pack. Coming into Sunday open. So what else we got here? Euro yen. Same story. Giant filling of the looming triangular vacuum. Boom. Party's over. Sellers got in here. They got their scalp on, just like the 25 pip scalp in the CAD. Now it's buy limits for me. Buy limits, buy limits, buy limits. So I'm going to run that in this broker. Let's see about copying it. Let's see how that copy software is. I don't know if it's instant. It's not going to matter with these limits, see? That's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter because of the limits. Look at the euro to the pound. Anybody buying this puppy? Now here's another dumbass hedge system paying off, like very much so. Yeah, I'd be buying that coming in. I'm buying that coming in, and I'm buying below. So had you bought here, and you bought in limits, 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 you must have thought about this price being a situation where you want to start getting in heavy. So you probably got in pretty heavy here for at least, if you bought 20% here, I don't know if you got a little bit of a dead cat bounce here in Asia. Then Asia opens. Next session, crushed. It doesn't look like there's a bounce inside there, but I'd have to look in to see if you got filled. If you got filled on your scalp trades that you lay into a bank down there. No, not much. Here's where the 4-hour robot's gonna make money, because it's gonna come in heavier on this bar and put wider expansions and tighter stops here, and this one not so much. This is smaller. 8 hours of nothing. Ruh-roh. Crush. So why is that moving down so hard? Because we're going into really kind of deep price, I think. We're taking out prices from these insane support levels. Right, so as far as we knew, this window here, this 25 pip window, why did it react there and turn around? I think the smart money, the people that make money, they bought here, they bought this double weak bottom, they bought this one, and they started to get in heavier because these are more historically back. Right, so we just nicked the wick on this one. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how deep this hole is. We clean that out. There was this trade. This is the weekly. Look at the entry here. Wow. Closed down. I don't know if you bought there, but look at the... Wow. Then it comes up and it grabs the top of that roof. Here are the sellers with limits that are going to sell into this hole. Look at the people with sell limits here. So for me, it's buy limits. Here I'd have a pack of buy limits that would just be mind-blowing. I don't know if we're going to make it down here, though. So I'll be writing scripts that last all week because I'm not going to come back and keep fucking babysitting this dumbass currency. Stupid shit. There's 15 grand in the account now, so if we went for 2 grand and 15 grand now, we can just be lazy pigs. Once you get the account, once you drive it really hard, I'd say let it coast. If you could get an account, like watch Samurai Trader, Sue Lee, you take an account for $400 to like 3 grand. And then just trade it, like, just take a little bit of money out, trade it lightly, and that counts like left the launch pad, let it go in orbit, start another account and do that again. Or get a new broker and get a new, this is if you enthusiast, get another MT4 on another device and say, okay, you just got the picture. It's easy then. It's like, hey, there's no pressure for the next. If you have all your eggs in one basket continuously driving around in your only car that you own, hopefully you are living out of the car at that point, right? That's, I think they call it a mobile home. You put all your money into that thing. And so it comes down again to what you're comfortable doing psychologically. Are you just trying to build an algo for kicks, for giggles? Can you handle not seeing what's going on? Can you handle putting in orders and not having to watch it? Right? Can you never look in your rearview mirror? Can you just drive a car straight down the road? Now, the other thing about the holding a trade over the weekend, there's nothing you do about the trade. You could actually, that account could be, they could go through your stop and you could blow up the whole account. So never have a bunch of money in a forex account anyways, hopefully you can coast along with the minimal amounts in these accounts. You're good enough at trading that you don't have to tie up your equity in bad trades and stuff like that. But yeah, this euro to the pound, if you want to get your head handed to you, I get the idea that this currency will trigger algos because this currency is out of its fucking mind. Why? Because of, Brexit. It's always been a problem, this currency pairs. Same thing with the Euro Swiss. The Swiss people pegging their currency. I mean, this is like the $35 an ounce gold pegging. And then when Nixon's like, we're going to open the gold window and the thing goes to 600 or 700, people are freaking out. So people run wherever they need to run with their money, but if you're just trying to make money trading, it's completely different than if you're investing and you want a feeling of safety and security with no risk. Yeah. People buy artwork. Who knows what that's worth? If You can't eat it for dinner. You know, the guy that has the bomb shelter with the Campbell's soup might be the guy that's the richest guy on the planet. This is the prepper's view of security. Why are you trading? To make money to feel more secure? What, are you insecure? Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you're always trying to play catch up to all the destruction around you, the stuff that wears out, you could go to open the door, the handle falls off eventually. How many times you open the door? Apparently you're just too old. You've lived too long, apparently. You overstayed your welcome on the planet. Shit's breaking down. Your car's falling apart. So, and then people are like, what's the rate of return? And can I make up this loss? I mean, everybody's on some level losing. I mean, nobody's going to probably, unless you upload your brain, you're gonna die. So, the fear of missing out comes to mind. But yeah, I don't have the patience to wait for the weekly algorithms to give me a signal to get in. If I look at this thing, I can just see right now, it's a buy. It's a buy on some level of some size because it's down. In my book, yeah, euro, and people say it keeps going down. Okay, well, if you go to the forward chart, the also depends. Are you going to wait 3 years to get paid, or 3 months, or 3 minutes? How quickly do you want to make money? So you're going to have to structure a trade plan around, well, is this going to be a 30-minute trade, or is this going to be a 3-hour trade? 3-hour trade, it's probably going to be a smaller position, makes the same amount of money as a 3-minute trade, but less focus needed, because who needs to focus on a fucking swing trade? Dude, this is like planting shit that's going to come up in 3 months. Putting seeds in the ground now. You're like, yeah, I'll go next spring. Dude, we haven't even made a winter. Yeah, I know. This is like a giant position. You're a position trader. You take a position fundamentally in the market based on what's going on. And position traders are in that trade. But scalpers are trading around that trade, making a ton of money, or maybe exactly the same amount of money. Different time frame, different sizing. So you got to figure, well, what do you like? How much punishment can you take? So you trade the demo. Imagine it's real money. Ask yourself, would I ever want to be down $1,000 in 1 week and thinking, oh, geez, man, I got to really. Now the fear of it's not the fear of missing out. Now you have another new thing is that maybe if I trade harder, I can make it back. And now I really have to focus. And of course, if you do that, then you're like, oh, what, oh. Do you have a trade plan for the other what's going on right now? Like, so if you build an algo that can only do one thing, a one-trick pony trend trading system, well, you're going to miss out on 80% of the trades out there, because only 20% of the market is in a nice, beautiful trend that you can ride. And some guy in the Discord said, well, the guy was regretting that he got out of a profitable trade, of course, and it's almost as worse as getting stopped out of a tight stop. And, in my opinion, there's pain on missing out on a profit. The other guy says, well, you got to let your profits run. Now, you can throw these arguments in like that, but it's completely retarded to say that to anybody, because you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, I need to make... The people that are making a considerable amount of money are taking whatever the market gives them. They don't have some outlandish fucking Fibonacci target that may never get met, and they maybe just making money on their trailing stop, because they trail their stop to break even. Some guy in the Discord says, I put all my stops to break even. I'm like, well, you should have taken one off, because you're just asking to get break evened out. I mean, the markets are continually going up and down. They don't know that you're in the trade. So you can't take it personally that they're going to stop on you if you start to trail your stops. If you have your original stop and you're like, dude, we're never coming back there for at least 12 hours. Like, for us to get down there, like, what is the likelihood? Of course, then when market makes a big move like this, euro to the pound, big smash down into the buyer's window. Hopefully you're cashing out of this trade if you went short on something. Sure, it could keep going down, but man, you gotta be greedy at some point here. And how about the guy that stood in front of this thing with a 300 pip stop and he sold all this shit up here? You saw it, dude. I went short right there, and I actually went short on limits all the way up. And when we closed the end of the week, I loaded the wagon on shorts. It reversed on the next middle of the year. Look at that. Just turned on a dime there, right in the middle of the year, and then just came crushing all the way back. Wow. Try building an algo on that shit. That's a contest. Backtest that trade plan. Let's see. See what kills what is better than any algo in the world is trade plans for dojis. Even the guys on non-directional hedges were killing it. And here they get in. It's pretty subtle, but everybody's aware of this price. What if we get above that? As you fill this void, right? As you fill that void, what the fuck is going to happen? Wow. People think maybe it's going to crush back and do one of these fucking dumb shit range trades where we just keep going back and forth. Who can say how this is going to unfold? Look at this beautiful new lows. Here comes the hedgers. Hedge systems come in at the end of the week. Look at this one. Non-directional hedgers cashed out both legs. Explosion of volatility. Even the buy stop, sell stops. Of course, I don't know if I want to put a buy stop and a sell stop. I'm going to be the market maker on the weekly. Okay, I'm getting in on the wicks on the weekly. Weekly wick entry. You could trade 28 pairs like that. You could on the weekly. You could, because you could. There'd be enough room in your brain at the end of the day to look at all this shit. Who can look at all this shit? My recommendation is buy like a motherfucker all the way to Egypt here. Whatever money you have in that account. No stop. Or put a fucking 200 pips, 300 pips stop on each 1K. That's my recommendation. Okay. I should do a weekly recommendation signal service. Let's go to the weekly. Let's just look at the weeklies. It's the end of the week. It's the weekend. Let's take a look. So here's the trade that we made all the money on this time. We cashed out in this window. We made $5,000 on the demo. From $2,000 to $15,000. All right, we're up $13,000. This was the cash out window. I got the fuck out. We let it cash out here. It was already written in stone. We were going to get out there. We were going to get out all the way up. And I did put a couple sell limits up there for kicks. I did do that. I'll just reload the template to delete the objects. So look at the weekly. Wow. It's done. I'm buying on limits now. All over again. Rinse and repeat. Here was the 4-hour doji bots. We're feasting on this. Hedges. Put on hedges, people. It's dumb shit stuff. 25 pip window. I think I even put a hedge on one of these things. Look at Hedge City. Small body hedge it. Now here you have to make that scalp, but you got to be aware of this. Break out, trap them, come back, kick them out. Believe it or not, this is the big sell-off here. Here's the big sell-off, right? When I did the video, I loaded up here, right? So when I took off, we still could have put on an insane hedge here. So I want to build the 4-hour hedge spot. If anybody knows how to, I just need a robot that's going to put on a symmetrical hedge when it sees a doji. That's all. And then I'm just going to make 100 versions of that robot. So one robot will be called up when we see a 3-pip body, and the other one's going to be called up when it sees a 4-pip body. It has a specific array of tickets attached to that. We have the scalp, the 25, we have the 50, and the 75. Right, so they coming in, or you can just do write the robot yourself. You should be. That should not be. I don't understand why that's hard to write. And I've talked to people about it, and they're like, "Could you tell me the criteria, dude? Small body, get the fuck in." I don't know what to say. That's my trade plan. Small body, get the fuck in method. Just put a trade on. It's going to be okay. Step away from the fucking algos. Stop with the algos, people. We need to do an intervention. So that thing's popped its cork. Also, more selling to be done up here. I am going to put the sell banks up here. I'm just going to throw in manual ones, the grids, because I didn't write double clicks for that. I'm just going to pepper that with sell limits coming into next week. All right, this is the obvious sell window. It's going to take a while to get up here. This slot is a big deal. Next currency pair, Euro Swiss, weekly. Let's go here. Let me go for the new template. It's like the best way to just delete all objects. Wow, nice scalp off this wick here. So weekly wick scalps. Set it and forget it trading. So I have to go to all the currency pairs and drop the grids in. You know, this broker apparently lets me run at least 2,000 tickets. This CoinEx is letting me do 2,000 tickets. Look at the monthlies. Why bother? So the daily looks noisy compared to... So the daily trades should look a little more easy for you. You're going to accumulate this currency on limits as it pulls back for 2 days of punishment pullback into this top. These are just goober setups. These are classic top become bottom. This should be wave 3. Like here's your top. This is a... You see the stop hunt begins here, so if you're going to buy eagerly and often, you have buy limits. Maybe a scalp built in there for a little bit. Here you can put on the hedge if you want it, so you can ride it into your limits. So you're running hedges into limits because you're going to make enough money here that you can survive not even trailing your stops here. The trick is to make money from this setup where you have a spinning top, and yes, candlesticks do work. You need a trade plan for that candlestick, a unique trade plan for that candlestick, and yes, they work amazingly. Right? At the end of this thing, you put on a hedge. You could say, well, you know what, it didn't go up. Yeah, but you know what? You made 50 pips to the downside, stopped out 25. These are not singular trades either. What I'm talking about is multiple entries here. Multiple entries here. Beautiful breakout, never looked back. Then you go flat here maybe. Certainly when you see this, you know you're going to go flat because if your system says up big sell, you went short and maybe you put on a hedge. If you went short and put on a hedge, tell me all the money you made here. It was beautiful. And you got limits here. I'm talking about trading what's here right now. What is it now? You just made 10 pips off this rooftop. You got sell limits up here. You got buy limits here. Buy limits here. Buy limits here. Buy limits all the way fucking down next week. To trade some kind of range trade. Fuck the trend. Fuck these trend traders, man. You're just not going to make money. You're just not. You're going to trade this many fucking pairs? Jesus Christ, people. Here's the weekly. You don't even see that trade here. So the daily stop hunt. I'm talking about buying pullbacks like that on limits. Yeah, they could blow that ticket out, but fuck. They could blow your car up, these terrorist motherfuckers. Here. I know people like to trade all this shit. Pound to the Swiss. Same story, different fucking day, right? Look at the fucking volatility on this bitch. Holy shit. Who's trading this? Pound Swiss. Dude, what do you got, a fucking Porsche? Look at this. Holy shit, what a buy window. Holy fuck, that one's over. They scalped off of this. That's over. Wow. More sellers up here though. I'd be selling up into here and buying here into this top. Daily chart. Wow. Look at that beast. Buy the weekly wicks. Same setup. But this is completely different. That's a 75 pip wick window. Does anybody see the hedge trades in here? Does anybody know what a doji is? Like, in case you're one of the new people to the channel and you're going to ask me what's my strategy, I'm going to say I got two of them. It's called, this could be an opportunity. Even though it doesn't keep going up. But look at that. No fill on the sell side. Only filled long. And you're getting in before the breakout of that. So you're putting in a very tight hedge here. Very tight. Giant fucking positions here, man. Because you can scalp out. You could be done. Here, another giant trade you're putting in. The giantest trade. Another big trade. But not so much because the wick's too big. It's scooped into here, right? It's scooped into there. Pick that up. Come down here. Now, buying on limits here. Perfectly good idea. I'm buying on limits here. But these are the deepest ones. These are the bigger tickets. So big tickets here in these holes. And big tickets on the small bars. It answers every problem of any trader can ever fucking have. You need two trade plans. You need two strategies. That's if you want to just keep making money. If you want to be sitting back and you build some algo that looks really pretty, dude, I'm not saying you can't hook up every fucking effect pedal in series to 100 devices and play guitar. Be my guest. Don't do it. Don't let me hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't know what it would sound like. Maybe it was just sound like fucking pure fucking noise. Talk about noise floor. Okay, next currency pair. I got them all in here, man. I think I got the ruble in here. Oh, the guppy. Look at this bitch scream. Put on my green 25 pip green handles. Wow. Anybody trading this puppy? Look at this kickback window. 25 pip kickback rip. How about that ratio? Are you riding this bitch? Look at, you can put on another hedge here. Shit, I'm a 30-minute chart. You gotta jump on that train, man. Look at that thing. Are you kidding me? I may have to switch templates here. Look in context where that's at. Gee, I wonder why it went up so hard. Could it have anything to do with this hole? That Wayne McDonald Dwyer guy. That's why I about died when I looked at his charts and he says, people talk about the looming vacuum. Well, we filled it, didn't we now? We tagged and bagged that puppy. And does this have any type of effect on that rally? This big wedge of nothing? Boosh. I mean, the structured traders are in there. The daily chart, by the way. Nope. No nonsense is blindsided by that. He's following his strict trend. We're in a downtrend. So I could see the guys on the... They were talking about the pound. Yeah, we're selling. It's in a downtrend. But where's the big money? Is it the stop hunt of this wick and this top become a bottom and finally... Because we filled this triangle of nothingness. We walked down into that nice and gently. Right, the scalpers had their fun with that too. Hopefully you can see the scalp fun now. Is there anybody buying here? Not much of a scalp there. Anybody buying that window? Wow. I think the only scalp here was... No. See, dead cat bounces. The hedgers win. In fact, they're building a giant hedge in here. And it spills out. 2 days of doji. Another spilling down. More dojis. Even the hedgers made money. Well, the high-risk ones. The smaller the body, the bigger the position. 2 gravestones. Oh, gravestones up here where you're just kind of trapping everybody. Nice walk down. Come in with the non-directional trade here. Makes money on this doji. You gotta look for the small bodies. Those are entries. Small body. Little kick back here, but you make up for it here, don't you? And why the vicious fill? Because it's filling that. It's filling that. Mission completed. Come back. Tumble back into this hole now. Just befuddles people. By the time their algo catches up, you gotta wait for those indicators to catch up. What I tell you, son, that's not how we trade around here. We trade in a no-nonsense way now. Don't make me take you to the brig. The no-nonsense torture room. Where you have to rewatch all his videos with the intro music. Oh no, please, I'll tell you, please. You can have my everything I own. Look at this thing come all the way back to the breakout point of this doji. Anybody got the balls to get on in a monthly doji? Boy, that's a nice, 2 months down out of that doji. Look at this one. Nice explosion here. How about this one? That's a nice trade. Boosh. We gobble up that. Look at the wick on that puppy. People are not prepared for that. But see, the hedge guys are only going to... So your hedge system, you can see it's a low-frequency system. It gets in here. It gets in here. Right, there's a robot that just trades those tight bodies, right? You see how the non-directional traders made money on that, right? It didn't matter if it was going up or down, right? It was going somewhere harder than it went. It's as simple as that, right? See, nice trade. I would just press a button that just built a hedge at the end of the month. Or you're building a hedge, hopefully. Who's waiting that long for a setup? You waited all year for that? You waited all year for that? There's 2 signals a year on this system. Yes, it makes money. Are you waiting for that trade setup? 3 trades a year. Back tested. In the can, done. Stop with the algo shit. Oh, I put a different moving average on. You only have to do 10 tests to see, oh, I see what's going on here. A slight change is slightly changing it. I'm talking about hard fucking mechanical trades here. You can see. Okay, if you're blind, you can't see it. Sorry. Next currency pair. Oh, the good old New Zealand to the dollar. This poor thing can't get a bid to save its life. The old dead currency pair. Is anybody trading this thing? Where's the drama? Oh, jeez. Let's go to the weekly. The trade you missed. Buying new lows. The trade you're gonna miss is selling up in here. Selling more up in here. The daily signal you missed was buying the stop hunt here. The bull stop hunt. It's called a reversal. The goobers are buying because it's going up. The hedgers are getting in here. They're getting stop hunted, but they're making it all back here. Good hedge entry. Another great entry. They didn't even stop hunt you. All to the downside. Non-directional trading. Please don't tell me you need to backtest that. Please, for God, the love of Pete. Yes. Small body entry. A little trap, but I'm going to say for your 25 pip stop hunt, don't forget you got 50 and 100 pip orders. In here you have stops. Did I also tell you, you got to have, if you're looking to make 150 pips, that ticket may have a 50 pip stop on it. So after this whole drama here, at the end of the day, it comes into, and hopefully you're doing the buy limits and sell limits, or like here, you're going to get crushed, but That's why trading typically the buy limits here. I could put on the hedge here. I'm shorting my buy limit. The sell limits, yeah, I'm going to put them here because it's a structural thing, but I'm not putting sell limits up here. When I look left and I see that we're filling this giant hole, you got to look left because the vacuum, the hole, the void, the null leaves a clue, a big clue. What else? We're short right now on limits. We've scalped off of this wick. We were in the seller's window at the end of the day. Now we're going to look to buy. Can you guess where by now? Here. Buy limits in there. At the end of the day, we'll go on sus. Maybe we'll just go flat on everything at the end of the day. Rinse and repeat, whatever. We'll zoom out one level. Changes the whole picture. Right. So the picture here is that New Zealand dollar, that is, that, this was the auction floor. We trapped below. We came back. We're kind of looking to hunt down this next hole. We could still backfill. We could still hunt this area. So the hunt is on for this void. This void is what's left behind. Is this the end of the month auction? Is this it? This was the end of the month here. End of the month doji. Continuation. Month to month. This is the daily chart. Month to month rollover. 30 days same as cash. So where are we going to be here at the end of the month? Up here, up, down. I'm not trying to predict the end of the month. I'm saying this is the hole, the biggest hole left behind. And there'll be plenty of places to counter trend sell into that. There's plenty of trades available for doji entry, end of day doji. Right. So if you're recovering no nonsense, whipsawed baseline, ATR 1% of metals up your ass guy, and you just want a nice simple trade system, that's just get her done. I see a doji, I got a doji script. That's all there is to it. How do you know it's a doji? Because at the end of the day, there's two dojis here, right? So you could have got a non-directional trade, symmetrical hedge here, or just take one direction. Just go, I think it's a sell. I think this was the seller's window. I think this void is about to be filled. Let's just start selling. Or even you could say, let's just start putting buy limits in here all the way down, because eventually this trade made money to here, back to this doji. Right? You could have done either trade plan. Certainly, in the meantime, waiting to get filled, you could have gone directionally here. And here you certainly could have gone short with a tight stop. Also, if you're going to trade directionally with the dojis, you're going to get in heavy with a tight stop. Heavy sell, tight stop. Tight stop. Little stop out. See, can't always run a 25 pip stop. Little body, get in at the end of the day, tight stop. Right? Low volatility, get in. Nobody wants to get in when it's like this, though. You notice? People are like, I don't want to get in because, I want to see it go down first. No, dude, get in when it's quiet. See, get in when it's quiet. Yeah, you could say they stop hunted you, but if you're a bear, you should have trailing sell limits to be the stop hunter. Right? Hunt that stop there. That is the ultimate. You can still put on the doji trade at the end of the day. Here. You could have sold here with a tight stop. Nice move into this hole. But you had to know when the party was over. When they dip in that window. And hopefully you've got limits down here. You're getting in at the market. You're riding into your limits. It's not going to be a perfect balance of the equal amount of buys and sells either, though. Here is a buy with a tight stop or sell with a tight stop, and they stopped you out. It's getting very quiet here, and here's where people are going to get kind of discouraged. Also here, if they're trying to micromanage this, because the market is going to go into, I'm going to say this is down, and we have consolidation. Tons of noise here. This is what's really chewing people up, is this box of noise, because this is kind of a trend. This is kind of a trend. Noise, I'm going to say here, kind of iffy, and then there's that this hard sell-off because of that vacuum. But the limit buyers are coming in, buy, and dump. They dump into that floor on the wick, right? This bottom becomes a top for the trend traders, that wick bottom. They would love to sell here again, but they never get it. Another small body, sell, tight stop. Add to the position here, tight stop if you're adding to the southern position. Right? So it's a failed rally. But don't forget, this whole time this is coming down, you're getting this immense hole. It does fill. It's not going to fill all the way to this. But that's okay because you have a trade plan for when it goes sideways. So day to day, signal to signal. Every day is a signal. If you have two trade plans, if you have a low volatility entry trade plan and a high volatility entry, the high volatility entry trade plan is the market order that you buy at the market here when you plunge below the floor. Right? So this big daily smash where you end up in rock bottom hole. Right? Then they rip it to the floor. Here comes the scalpers, get out. There's follow through. They stop hunt this area. And this is pretty quiet trading in here. The hedgers come in there. Another dip into the hole. Another attempt to engulf, and the pressure's building up here. We come back a little bit, and maybe the best thing is to get filled on your limits here and not chase it into what you think is going to be. The other mistake is thinking, well, oh, that's going to happen, then I'm just going to fuck in here, because it could pull. This is the daily chart, so it could pull back 20 pips. Do you want to get in that, and can you focus on the New Zealand dollar? Do you want to focus on the low? You're not going to get killed here. This is not moving like the guppy. Like, this is the weekly chart, for God's sakes. You do that on the guppy and it looks like this. You can't even tell what the fuck's going on. So this is also not moving. Pip-wise. Okay, let me go to the next dollar CAD. Australia CAD. I'm a buyer here, obviously. All the way down. My sell system would have sold this window. Let me put the template up here. So I'm going to get rid of these windows here. Okay, so I got to refresh to get the handles to show up there. So the daily, max zoom in on the daily. Yes, I'm selling here. And I'm going to sell heavier here because this is a deeper wick. So that would have been the sell. We would have scalped out. And if I could trade limits only, which I prefer, there's buy limits in here now. Simple as that. I'm not going to ride it for some big trend move. Like, I'd wait till the volatility dries up. So you can see here's the big hedge entries. Here you double up on your hedge and it pays off into the hole, but you got to be aware of that hole once you dip in it. And here comes the market order bot on the big down move. So buy, get out or sell a little bit, buy at the market. You put the hedge on here. This is where you're going to cover. This is where the money management's built into the double strategy, because if you buy here on a breakout, you make a little bit, you buy because it's down, you got buy limits here, but you're also getting on two hedges into the fall of that. Not the best low range entry. Here's a great double low range entry explosion, but into the limits again for the reversal. So as you're going out, you're passing it off to the limit traders. So next currency is the Australia to the throw in the template. Go to max zoom. Okay, that's the same 25 pips scalp you're seeing there. That was a big common setup pattern. A big rinse and repeat story there. Again, once again, I think you can see my entry is going to be buying in here. Next week in various amounts for the obvious easy money scalps. I'm simply going to take the grid limits, the limit grids, and I'm going to make them last for a month or a week. So every day I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to have to look at this stuff. So we can check in every day. If we do get filled and we see that, that got cleared out fast. So we don't know. Also, say you put buy limits in here expecting the stop hunt, right? And you want to buy a low that has not been seen in 3 days. Also, you want to buy one that hasn't been seen all back here, but no fill there, right? It's a little disappointment, but high probability entry window. Also, maybe you're buying because you are buying this on limits and you're actually accumulating that area. So the aggressive traders, I would say, like me, are going to buy here, buy more here, and buy way more here. But see, we only fill here. This one becomes a winner. This one becomes a winner if you didn't get stopped out. If you had a 70 pip stop on this and a 70 pip stop of that, so you made your 50 pips, you made your 70 pips. When you see the small, if you want to really trade aggressively, and of course, if I go to the 4-hour chart, you're going to see the entries in the 4-hour chart, right? Because there's got to be a 4-hour doji in here that looks pretty good compared to this big, right? Once again, the hedge guys come in, tight stops to the south and north. Non-directional people make a little bit less money. Nice move into limits. So you're always in the market. You're really always in. With my system, it's an always in system, actually, because if you're not getting this, so as this is crushing up, make sure you look left, because God knows where we're going when we go smashing up like this. Up, up, up. But if you can afford it, you sold here, you sold here, you sold here. You didn't sell anymore. You sold here. Big up bars. You have a trade plan with a wide stop. If you waited long enough, this one's a winner. What are you going to say? What are you going to tell me? That's not a winner if I had a wide enough stop? Sure, if I had a 200 pip stop on that. 200 pip stop, 200 pip stop. Those are the swing trades layered on top of your, non-directional tight, big sized position breakout, ram. 2 signals to get in, 2 small bodies. You should be building a hedge. And look, it's making money without you knowing which way it's going to go. You paid a little bit of insurance policy that. The Democrats, their insurance policy is going to cost them a lot, looks like. I think California's going to go red. So, if it doesn't burn to death, if they don't burn to death, Jesus, how to fuck up Paradise? Yeah, what Joni Mitchell? Take Paradise and put up a fucking power grid that's ready to catch on fire. Okay, so once again, the infamous. No need to backtest the doji, people. No need. On the daily dojis, I should have a daily doji update. Today, doji of the day. We got a 1 pip doji. Look at this fucking ruble. Here, more doji madness. Oh, the Australia versus the yen. Who's not trading this every day? Look at the weekly. Wow, what brutalization. What the hell's going on? Oh, well, that would look like a good buy down there. That update came in a little too fast for me. So here, let's zoom in, take a look at this accumulation underneath what I suspect is this is the low here. Also, look at all these torturous entries here. Building a hedge, kind of makes some money. So how does it work? Well, you wouldn't put a hedge on this one. So then the smaller the hedge, the bigger the trade. So this would make you about 50 pips, maybe. Notice no stop hunt for you. Then you put a hedge on again. So you're every day there's a different trade plan. Here, ultimate hedge. Here, I would not miss this opportunity for the world. If I was going to trade 28 currency pairs, I'd be like, dude, you got to look at this setup here. Even the people that put sell stops in here for confirmation, anticipating a fill of this hole, not bad, right? But then when we come into the buyer's window on these things, we start to get the market makers or the deep discount buyers. What do you want to call them? Look at this trap here. And here's the floor. I suspect that we've been able to go above this accumulation phase here. This is the only one. So a robot that's built for a 25 pip end of the day, you could have a robot, or you could just look at it yourself. You see and just hit the script. At the end of the day, you got a small body, put on a hedge. It doesn't matter what color the body is either. Don't be a racist. You know, it doesn't matter. The gravestone here. Look how many in a row. And we got our buy limit scheme set up here, right? Because even when the market's here, after the market makes that low, we know it exists, and then we could just be like, okay, yeah, buy limits all month long. You don't have to trade these. You probably should if you really want to maximize your dollars. Especially when you come down into this, you had to know this was your exit. That there would be a big deal there, where that bottom would try to become a top over and over and over. Bang, 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 bang. The more pent up vacuum here. This one's kind of been stop hunted here before. You could also be aware of the fact that they're probably going to kick it down. Just Mother Nature. This is just a void being itching to be filled. This little baby vax itching to be filled. But that's okay. That's going to kind of stop you out if you're trying to get in on a breakout. It's trapping you. But we would have kept going down here maybe, and of course you would have been buyer because of this and this. So trading both directions, trading two strategies. That's the ultimate. Let's go for the new template here. 25 pips. Let's go for max zoom in. Daily chart again. Seems like everybody got this little liquidity trap fill here. Scalp at the end of the week off every pair. Another Australia to New Zealand. Same kind of pattern. Worse spread, I'm sure. Terrible spread on this. You can see it on the daily, for God's sakes. But, people want to trade this shit. I got an algo. You got an algo for... So let me see. You built the Holy Grail and you apply it to everything. It's impossible, man. Everybody's unique. Yeah, everybody has, typically 2 legs, 2 arms. But trust me, there is a huge spectrum of designs. And nobody looks alike. Everybody's a snowflake. Look at the weekly dojis here. Look at this setup. Who's not piling into this fucking triangle here? It's a triangle living in there, or a pennant or a flag. Look at this one. Non-directional. Nobody's talking about mechanical trading. I wonder why. You can't make a living selling such a fucking blatantly obvious course. Well, we have a doji. Let's get in. Whoosh. Let's put sell limits up here. Okay, you don't need a moving average. You don't need fucking Renko. That would fuck it up. You're not gonna get a doji out of Renko. You're fucking up the time frame, dude. We dip into this window. Scalpers have their fun off of this hole, right? They have their fun. At the end of the day, we're here. We've trapped these. The confirmation guys got filled. They got their stop. They're going to make money on that. But what's preventing for you from having another? Why can't you have 2 trade? Well, I don't want to be a 2-timer, I want to be loyal to my mentor. I want to be loyal to no nonsense, And if you, don't want to, you got to read the no nonsense Bible, dude. That is like the most. That's like if you lived your life by the Bible, like, an eye for an eye. I went to Home Depot, bought a drill, blew out my eye. I wanted to kill the salesman that sold to me. I took out his eye. I'm just following the Bible. He sold me a defective Chinese Mohawk thing, or Blue Hawk, or whatever they sell over there. their house brand. He sold me the house brand. I lost an eyeball. I went and fucking gouged his with the same tool. I went strict Bible interpretation. It's not going to work. I'm sure it saves somebody. Okay, let's face it. There are alcoholics that went or there's guys that killed 20 people and they're reading the Bible in prison. They're like, I'm healed. I'm Jesus now. Okay, great. You're not killing people, and you're banging Jesus. That's beautiful. That's good. Just don't tailgate me when I'm driving my car. Okay, stay home. Stay home and thump your Bible. But that's how people are, man. They're like, well, yeah. Then they get all fucking offended because I'm making fun of a Gartley pattern. Well, that's like fucking, dude. That's like devil worship. Come on. As far as religions go, let's put everything in a category here. Obviously, Ranko's the devil's chart. Flat out. Fuck, it's usually. How about the red candles? They're going to hell. That's why they're red. They're going down. Anyways. CAD Swiss. Who trades this shit? Look at this fucking thing rip. That party's over. Boy, we sure had a lot of retracements, didn't we? We filled a lot of voids. Another doji entry. People think I'm kidding. Some guy said, how can anybody take you seriously? How can you not? Dojis are nobody's making money. Everybody is waiting for something to happen. They're going to make a move. And if they don't make a move, their money management's going to pull them in and fuel the move. Isn't it obvious? You get above this level, people are like, uh-oh, here comes the confirmation traders. Breakout. They only buy pullback to retest this high, which is right here. They got a pending order. Goes up a little bit. The only triangle, the only flag, the only pennant, the only low volatility entry on this whole fucking chart. On the 4-hour chart, though. I am cheating. I'm going the extra step. You get out here at the end of the day. You're flat. Get in, ride it, get out. Get in, ride it, get out. Especially when it's telling you that, just go flat. Just get the fuck out of any trade that you've made money on. If you got in here and it goes up, get out. Right? It's down. If you got in here and it's down, get out of something. Sure, it's going to go down a little lower. Go flat. Put limits in. Here, get in heavy. Tight stop. Get in heavy, tight stop. Not bad. Here you're going to get whipsawed. Here you're going to make it back. There's no hedge. There's no hedge here. That's a market order sell, market order buy. Put on a hedge. No fill on the outside. Maybe you have sell stops that start. That's another thing to consider. How are you going to size this thing? Are you going to put sell stops in a hard sell stop? Or are you going to have like 5 pips away from current prices as bad as you're going to get in? Your worst entry on a sell. Are you going to put the same symmetrical? Yeah, if you're a symmetrical, non-directional, disciplined trader, you're going to put the hedge on. But the beauty of it is some of the buy stops last for an hour, some last for 8. So when the market does leave the station, the ones that only last 2 hours, so the more you pull the trigger and the shorter the time frame of that thing, the less risk you're taking. If you have pendings that last like 12 hours in there, yeah, that's kind of a lingering liability if the market slams back into that price and tags it. But it's in the old, I was in 1,500 tickets. If 20 of those tickets out of 1,000 tickets, that's such a minuscule effect on your equity. It's like saying if I make less lane changes, I'm going to save gas driving my car. Also, this sell limit window, this 4-hour chart, this is a really high frequency trading for most people. The daily chart, yeah, totally different treatment, different trade plan. You can't trade breakout strategies necessarily. When you see a breakout, hopefully you're in before the breakout on the daily. I'm getting in on limits on the daily. I'm going against no nonsense on the daily. In other words, I'm buying here on a limit. I'm buying this on a limit. I'm buying here, and I'm buying here more, and I'm buying here more, but I never get filled there. I get tagged on that. I let it go. I see they're trapping these guys, but I'm already out of that trade. I'm out of some of these tickets before we even break out this. We start filling that vacuum. I want to be on the ride. I don't want to be chasing into that vacuum unless this is a 5-minute chart. That's a daily chart. You should be trading against. You should be hunting the daily stops. If you are a limit entry, low pip risk, high reward trader that trades 3 trades a week, you get 3 signals a week, and the market's actually, it's not a signal. You can put the pending in and just take the $10 risk or take the $5 risk. Put your 50 pip stop in and risk $5 per trade to make $10 or $15. Place all the tickets. At the end of the day, you're up $150. It's crazy. Pretty simple. Pretty clean. Pretty. If you can't risk $5 a trigger pull, then set it down to $2. But once you get too cheap, now you can't just put in tight stops on these exotic pairs, and this is an exotic pair. And another thing is you're getting these amazing bodies. They're not as small as they look. If the spread's big, this may look like a small body, but once you add the spread onto that, so you really getting killed there. So but you're expecting to kind of take about a 30 pip risk, right? So think about the total dollar amount first. Is this even something you want to do? But this is my approach. Let's just deal with reality. Let's not fucking put our rose-colored glasses on for the world here. Spend all that time building algos. You'd be making money. Jesus, people. Another prime example here of low volatility entry windows. Just goes on and on. Yep, the scalpers are having their fun here. Now, we could come all the way back now. We could have trapped everybody, but how are we going to get there? If I want to get into that trade, I'm always going to have my got to pay the rent tickets. Got sell limits up here. Got buy limits down here, but I don't think we're coming down this far on Sunday open. So I got to go and say, you know what? I'll put this one. I could go symmetrical actually right now. I would hit a symmetrical limit button and put sell limits above, buy limits below, because I can't trade a doji. There's no doji signal. Either I sold at the market so they can come back to this top. This is the actual breakout. This is the trap window. And I don't know if I go down to the 1 hour chart, if there's even a profit in that trade on the scalp basis. So if I go to the 4 hour chart and see what we got here, waiting for update. Please hold. Wow, I guess I've never traded this pair. Sorry, it's looking for like gobs of here once again. The obvious 4 hour doji bot's gonna make more money than, so I would say build your 4 hour doji bots if you know how to do it. It's an obvious, and then build them so that you can insert unique trade plans in there, or you could just you can still manually trade it. Nobody's preventing you from noticing this low volatility and getting the fuck in anticipation that you're going to keep going here and clear out this top, or you could sell here like like crazy and just only lose a few pips. Why would you look at the 14 ATR for your? Why would you even try to do a confirmation on this? The confirmation is the fact that, dude, the transcript is the evidence. There's no whistleblower needed. You're looking at the fucking setup here. That's it. This is also an inside day. What is an inside day? It's lower volatility than the previous day. This is inside this bar. Right? These are all great trades. These are amazing. Look at buying at the market even here eventually became a winner. Buying here because it's down heavy. Here comes 3 hedges on. Nice move to here. Then you're trailing limits. You're running, I'm going to be running 50 pips deep. So coming in, I have 50 pips deep. I may not trade this pair because the spread sucks. And if that's the case, what's the logical conclusion? Go down to some prime pairs and just get in thick. Trade the majors and trade them thick. Unless you get off on claiming, oh, look at this, I'm trading all these pairs, I'm a big currency trader. Nobody gives a fuck. Look, this has made its move too. Everything went up. Everything went up. You notice that? I think what's going on there is the spreads are tightening overall. Dollar CAD down though. Let me just zoom in. Is this a pair? Okay, Euro to Australia. People love this thing. Not moving much though. Australian dollar doesn't move very much. So, not a lot of pips here. Right to 1 hour. Look at this mess. So who's making money here? The range traders. All this garbage. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. One trend. No trend. One trend. No trend. But we're trend traders. That's the cutest thing. This one, I think, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. But we're trend traders. I know. That's the problem. I fell for the trend trading thing. Because you'd see stuff like this, they go, well, you get in here and you ride this trend. And I'm like, yeah, but what about this part? What about this part? What about this part? Don't you see you had to buy here? Okay. But then, woof. Why so many buyers there? Could it be this thing? Could it have to do with that? Why does it go up so hard after it went down into this hole? Huh. Look at this thing, man. Wow. Look at this brutalization. Daily chart. Vicious. Got buy limits in here. Sell limits in here. A lot to keep track of. Euro CAD. Oh, people love this one. If they're talking about it, you know you should. These are the unmanipulated pairs that are going to blow your brain out. Euro CAD. Holy shit. Are you ready for this? Good Lord. Yeah, I'm a buyer here. I'm in. I'm buying tons down here. But on the way there, yeah. Easy trade. Just buying dips, man. Look at these gravestones. Here's your hedge entry, another hedge entry. Here, if you bought, tight stop, they stopped you out. Here, if you sold, I don't know if they stop hunted you here, but here's a nice clean 50 pips. Here you made some money on the downside, actually. I think you made more money on the breakout here. Where that went, after all, doesn't matter. See, you're getting in here with maybe a stop here and a stop here. Here you get in heavier because this is a smaller wick, smaller body. That would matter too. So you could have a volatility per bar bot. It wouldn't pick up on the doji, see. It's just looking for a small bar. Right, a true mechanical, or another true mechanical system is to put a buy stop here on a small bar and a sell stop, whichever way the wind blows. Right, small bar, you have a buy stop, a sell stop, and you're just making money perfectly on the short side. Here you're getting trapped. Inside bar, trapped long. But are you selling on limits? Are you the person putting the sell limits in this pocket? Well, you should be. Even if you're long on a buy stop here, well, then that's your exit to go for the reversal. And now you're buying again to come back to here. It's going down, I'm buying. At the end of the day, I know if it's down 150 pips, that's a completely different trade plan than if it's down 30 pips. Here is the infamous kroner to the euro. Look at this thing. A little tough. Maybe you don't want to trade it. Spread's a little wide for you. Go to the weekly. Spread's probably wide there too. Uh-oh, doesn't look tradable. Spread's too wide. Look at all the dojis though. Waiting for update. Maybe if I zoom out and take a broad view of this currency pair. No, not so much. Untradeable. No nonsense. I'll go for that one. What else I got here? Oh, Euro New Zealand. Brutal. That's a brutal pair. Okay, zoom in. Doesn't look tradable to me. I know people love this pair, but wow. Utterly boring. Now there's like one good hanging man trade in this whole thing. And I'm on the weekly. Another entry. Another trade. Hey, it's a good trade setting up here. Something's going to give. We got a low volatility setup. It's going to be some kind of crazy shit here. Looks like Euro North. But I'm a bull, so for me. But there is something here to be said about if we take this out and then we take out this high back here. That could be brutal, right? Because look where you're at in the big picture. We start going after this hole. So, you know, monthly, I'm gonna say volatility's drying up, giving us this wedge. Who knows? Who's got time for this currency? New Zealand CAD apparently is up here too. Look at this. Wow, that's its support. How about that? How about them razor blade apples? Yeah. Okay. Wow. Buying opportunity for me. Buying this whole area. All right. Oh, yeah, New Zealand to the yen, of course. I don't mind if I do. Look at this beast. Another one of those traps at the end of the day. Look right in that window again, pulling it off. Buy limits here, no brainer. Sell limits above here also. Way more sell limits up there. Pretty easy. Pretty easy system. Limit system's the easiest. Here was the doji trapped under the floor. All right. A lot of buyers here. Stops are stacking up. Whoosh. Clean house. Big sell at the end of the day here on the pound against Australia. It looks like we still get a little more follow through. I'd be a seller on limits. I'd be selling into that, expecting. I don't think I'd run buy limits here unless I'm going to run them really tight for something. But wow, looks like that thing's going to just go ripping through the roof. That thing's hell bent. Let's see where it's going after though. Look for a deep hole. Okay, so we still got this. Unless we hit it. I don't think we hit this window yet, but yeah, that's going to be a big sell window. That should be glorious. I'm sure a lot of people sold there at the end of the week, especially if they had accumulated, you know, the people with deep pockets probably gobbled up all this punishment here. They bought that, they bought that. They bought more here than they bought here, and they probably, looks like you could have got filled here actually. It looks like that was a fill. Yeah, you could have bought just a ton down there. But I think if you did that, you probably sold into this last known support. And then sellers did come in there. This is a feisty pair. Pound Australia. These people are having a battle. Everybody's all pissed off. Let me put the right pip amount on this thing. Daily. Look at that thing. Oof. How many pips does that cost you to trade this thing? Vicious. The weekly tells it. But yeah, I mean in the long run, there's a whole lot of hell going on up here if you ever make it into this window. And this goes way back. Shit, trying to get this actual object here. That's going to be nuts. I'm going to fix the scale here. Do a drill down. Okay, there you go. Look at that thing. Wow. Insane. Waiting for data. Waiting for update. That's cool. I want a t-shirt that says that on there. Some MT4 geek would go. God, are you waiting for your data? Instead of where's Hunter, we'll have you waiting for update. Wow, look at this thing. Another buy signal. People, end of the day, small body guys are default long right now. Well, that pound sure came back to life, didn't it? Just creamed everything. Pound cat, same story. Look at palladium. Seller's delight. I'm selling palladium up there. If I'm a palladium trader, look at that. Holy shit. Costs more than gold. Where's all the palladium traders? Kind of a thin market to scalp. Here, let me take off these grids. This is wrong. Just throw in a trying to find the right template. I think they all have grids in them. Let me take off this price grid. 0. Okay. Kind of a nasty spread here. Look at the thing screaming. Who's not dumping out at 1,700 an ounce? You know, this is a way better story than anything out there, really. I'm surprised the no-nonsense guys not talking about this. Look at this spectacular move. What's going on here? Talk about scarcity, possibly. Here's a top become a bottom before you leave the station. Another top become a bottom. Then, wow, look at this. Once we take out the high of the year, oof. Can we weasel up to 1850? We can start giving back. And this left behind hole is going to be a big looming triangle. So far, brutal. Anyways, that's my update.